By popular vote, I'm going to be building the Minecraft squid in creative. So starting with the body, we started the body with the blue terracotta. With these shaders, it kind of looked like a purple. I might be colorblind a little bit. It looked kind of purple to me, and it kind of resembled the body color of the squid. To begin, I started with a 10 by 10 block, and then I figured out the length of how long I wanted the body, and I attempted to use the world edit with the wand and figuring out my 2 different points. I don't really know how to do that, so I ended up using the fill command to fill out the entire thing so I could have a big rectangle. I started trimming the body with some black concrete, which turned out it was a little too dark. So I ended up using gray concrete. It looked a little bit better than the black, and it reminded me more of what the squids look like in game. Once I figured that out, it was pretty quick to trim the whole body out with the concrete, the gray concrete. It looked pretty good. It went pretty fast. I think this part cracked me up a little bit just because I saw the fox back there kind of peeking over the squid. Hello! Wondering what I was doing. Looked a little curious. Once the body was all trimmed out, then I started adding the eyes, and this was created with white and black concrete. Originally I put it too close to the edge, so I ended up moving it out and putting them closer in the middle. Then it was time to start creating the legs. The legs were pretty simple. It only consisted of 4 blocks, making a square on each corner. I think the hardest part, which wasn't really that hard at all, was trying to figure out how long I wanted to make the legs. I ended up putting one right in the middle of each one. That way we had a total of 8 legs, like the squid does in the game. Once that was complete, it gave me an opportunity to start working on the mouth. The mouth wasn't too hard. It started with the teeth, which I just started using with white concrete and trying to space them with at least 1 block in between. I realized that where the position of the legs were kind of made it look a little funny. Get it all the way across the entire perimeter with the legs being in the way. Just with a couple minutes of trying to figure out where I wanted the teeth, I realized that I could just put them within the perimeter of the legs, and then it ended up looking pretty good. And then once it was complete, I just filled the rest of the space with red concrete. This allowed me to give it that mouth look from the game. So I thought maybe I should start shading it with a little bit of red terracotta. I didn't really like that as much. I'm not one to shade things very well, so I thought I'd give it a shot, and I didn't really like it. Then it was on to detailing the squid. I started trying to put some patches on the side of the squid to give it that sheen look that it has in the game. Originally I used the stripped warp stem, but it was a little too bright, so I ended up removing that and then using light gray concrete. And I really like the way that the light gray concrete looked. I ended up putting a little bit of darker stuff on the edge to try to make it look like it kind of faded. I tried to use the warp stem again, and I didn't really like that either, so I ended up removing all of it again and starting over with a blue terracotta, or not blue terracotta, light blue terracotta. This actually matched the blue terracotta pretty well since it is in the same family of block, and it reminded me of how the squid looks like in the game, so I ended up going with it. So once the details were done on the one side, I moved quickly to the top of the squid, and as you can see, using the light blue terracotta as the head, or as for the face, I'm assuming it's the face because that's where the eyes are. I thought it matched pretty well. Ended up doing the same pattern on the other side of the squid. And once that was completed, I moved to the top. Top was pretty straightforward, using the light blue terracotta. At this point, I think I was pretty close to finishing the rest of the squid. I tried a little bit more detailing, trying to give them a little bit more color. And I kind of decided that I would just remove the color into its original point. Sometimes over detailing can happen, and I thought I was doing a little too much, so I just put it back to where it was. And then, at this point, I thought it'd be really cool to try to put the squid inside of an aquarium. Here I'm using the world edit command, trying to figure out the coordinate. Turns out I'm not the best at world edit, and I've never used it before. So with that being said, the whole squid did not end up getting put in an aquarium, but instead it turned into a glass cube. That is actually hollow inside. I was trying to make it hollow, but yeah. I replaced it with a cube, and I couldn't undo it, so here lies the glass cube that used to be a squid. If you guys want to see more of these videos, make sure you leave a like and a comment, and I'll see you on the next video.